Hey, what's going on, you guys? Hey, welcome back to another episode of I Track. Well, the world senior exorcist has said there's been a rise in Satanism in 2026, which isn't too hard to tell if you've been looking around even a little bit. So we're going to take a look at that along with a lot of other interesting clips. But before we do any of that, do make sure to smash that like button for me, hit that hype button, and smash that subscribe button if you're not a part of the I Track fam. Let's go ahead and jump right into it.
Well, if you feel like 2026 isn't going too well, this next story could offer an explanation. According to the world's most senior exorcists, there has been a rise in spiritual distress and Satanism. Representatives of the International Association of Exorcists met with Pope Leo at the Vatican this week, warning of a concerning growth in occultism and Satanism. They're pushing for at least one exorcist in every Catholic diocese around the world in order to combat what they say are the actions of the devil. The Pope has previously expressed his support for the delicate and necessary work they do.
Today, the International Olympic Committee announced that only biological females can compete in women's competitions. The new policy will employ genetic testing to verify biological sex.
This girl might not be human. And the reason is unsettling because after months of posting disturbing videos of herself smiling, people first thought it was just an act, but over time her behavior only became stranger. She began moving in ways that didn't look natural, smiling with her. Her mouth stretched unnaturally wide, and the longer viewers watched her videos, the more uneasy they felt. Many believe something isn't right with her, while others are convinced she might be a real-life skinwalker.
Now, there's nothing wrong with having a big smile, but all the extra antics, that's going to make you look a little suspect and a little suspicious.
Things that are scarier at night. Corn mazes. At night. Playgrounds. At night. School hallways. At night. Forests. At night.
You've seen the sphere, but you do not know these things about it. Number 5, it runs on enough energy to power 21,000 homes, and 70% of that comes from solar. Number 4, they shipped in the 4th largest crane on Earth from Belgium. It took 120 trucks just to deliver it and 18 days to assemble. Number 3, the outside is covered in 1.2 million LEDs across the size of 10 football fields. Supposedly, you can see this from space. Number 2, it was supposed to cost $1.2 billion, but it ended up costing $2.3 billion, making it the single most expensive venue ever built in Las Vegas. And number 1, inside there are 10,000 seats that physically vibrate, blow wind on you, and change temperature to match what's happening on the world's largest screen.
I haven't been there, but if you've actually seen the dome and experienced it, let me know if it's worth the hype or not.
Oysters are a lot weirder than people realize. First of all, oysters are born male, but they switch sexes up to 60 times in their lives because female bodies are bigger and can produce more eggs. A single female oyster can produce up to 100 million eggs in one season. Oysters filter up to 50 gallons of water per day. That's cool. They consume plankton and whatever else is in our highly polluted oceans. Not cool. They are also alive right before you eat them and only die when separated from their shells. They have existed for 200 million years, which means humans have been eating them since prehistoric times. Ancient Romans farmed oysters and transported them all across their empire. They kept oysters alive during transport using snow. In the 1800s, oysters became cheap and widely available. They were even sold as street food, but overharvesting and pollution reduced their populations, and that's why now they are considered a luxury. The most luxurious thing about oysters is that some of them contain pea crabs. These crabs live inside the oyster their entire lives and are considered good luck to eat. I, however, will be missing out on that luck because I will never be consuming another oyster again. Thank you.
It's almost unbelievable, but the world's first VR headset that literally kills you if you die in the game has just been created. The man who invented it, Palmer Luckey, is a leader in VR, a government contractor, and the creator of Meta's Oculus headset. So this is the real deal. The headset is hooked up to 3 explosive charge modules that sit above the screen. The charges are aimed directly at the user's forebrain, and should they go off, would obliterate the head of the user. He said he created it because only the threat of serious consequences can make the game feel real to you and every other person in the game. He even says that he wants to work on an anti-tampering model that cannot be removed or destroyed. So if you decide to put it on, there is no bloody going back. Thankfully, this headset is not commercially available yet.
I can comfortably speak for everybody when I say we don't need it. We don't need it. We're good.
Facts You Didn't Know, Part 9. Hugh Hefner ensured he would remain close to Marilyn Monroe forever by purchasing the crypt right next to hers decades after her death, even though the two never met in real life. What makes it even more unsettling is that directly above Monroe is Richard Poncher, a man who was reportedly buried face down so he would be positioned facing her for eternity. Together, it creates a disturbing reality, where even in death, she is surrounded by men who wanted to be near her, turning her final resting place into something far more eerie than peaceful. Stanley Meyer was an American inventor who claimed he had created a water fuel cell, a device that could power a car using nothing but water, something that, if real, could have changed the world's dependence on gasoline forever. His invention drew attention, but it also brought skepticism, lawsuits, and controversy, with a court later ruling his technology was fraudulent. But what makes his story truly unsettling is how it ended. In 1998, after meeting with potential investors at a restaurant, Meyer suddenly ran outside, collapsed, and reportedly cried out that he had been poisoned. Moments later, he was dead. His death was officially ruled a brain aneurysm, yet many still question it. The network CNN secretly prepared a video for the end of the world, called the Doomsday Tape. It was meant to air only if global catastrophe struck and society was collapsing. The chilling part? It featured a slow, somber performance of "Nearer My God to Thee," the same hymn famously associated with the sinking of the Titanic, as the final message humanity would ever see.
This is rare. These are ectopic eyelashes. It's commonly mistaken for a tumor called a trichofolliculoma, which can also look like this, but more often occurs on the nose and cheeks. It can also get confused for something called distichiasis, which is something completely different, where basically you grow multiple rows of eyelashes. Follow me for more derm content.
Scientists have officially discovered that the opposite of a rogue wave exists, where the ocean can open up into a massive hole without any warning at all. So most people should already know what a rogue wave is. They're walls of water that rise out of nowhere in the open ocean, and they could be 80, 90, and even 100 feet tall. For centuries now, scientists thought that sailors were making them up. Then in 1995, one hit an oil platform in the North Sea, and it was measured for the first time. And they're real. They actually happen every single day across every single ocean on Earth, and it took that long to find out. But here's the part that nobody knows, because the exact opposite also exists. Scientists call them rogue holes, and instead of the ocean surging upward, it drops. A sudden massive depression will open up in the middle of the surface with two huge crests on either side, so your ship doesn't get hit by a wave, it just drops. Researchers were actually able to prove that they were real in a wave tank experiment, and there's even a recording of one from an oil platform in the North Sea. The ocean can rise into a wall or open into a pit, and they both happen without warning.
Hey, the ocean is pretty much just like the internet, man. It is undefeated, especially the more we learn about it. Aliens and whatnot.
Morbid Facts, Part 938. Before becoming an actor, Danny DeVito worked as a beautician in New Jersey, where one of his regular clients suddenly died. Her family specifically requested him to prepare her for the funeral, asking him to wash, set, and style her hair inside the coffin. After that, he began taking on similar work at a local funeral home, styling the hair of corpses and helping present bodies for open casket viewings, before eventually leaving that world behind to study acting at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts. In 1928 in Los Angeles, a woman named Christine Collins was reunited with a boy police claimed was her missing 9-year-old son, Walter. She immediately insisted the child definitely wasn't hers, pointing out physical differences and even dental records that clearly didn't match. But instead of investigating, authorities instantly accused her of being unstable and had her involuntarily committed to a mental asylum. Months later, it was revealed the boy was an imposter, and her real son was likely murdered by serial killer Gordon Northcott. The case exposed major police corruption and later inspired the 2008 film Changeling.
Shadow people caught on camera in New Orleans. It don't matter where you are, if you see something like that peeking around one of your door frames of your house, what are you gonna do? I don't know, man. If you're a shadow person or an evil entity at my house, if you're not working with me, you got to go. Let's see, I'd be tripping. Throwing holy water or something. Flamethrower, something. Oh, fuck no.
These are the most delusional people in history. So King Charles VI of France was convinced that he was made of glass and had iron rods sewn into his clothing to prevent himself from breaking. Similarly, Princess Alexandra Amalia of Bavaria famously walked sideways through doorways because she believed she swallowed a grand piano when she was a child. Hong Zhujuan was a Chinese man who was convinced that he was the brother of Jesus Christ, and as a result, he started an uprising called the Taiping Rebellion to cleanse China, which unfortunately led to a civil war that resulted in 30 million deaths, making it one of the deadliest conflicts in human history. Perhaps more deluded than this, though, was Louis XIV, who called himself the Sun King, as he actually thought he was the literal center of the solar system. He wasn't. Joshua Norton was a San Francisco man who, in the 1800s, was convinced that he was the Emperor of the United States, and cities actually played along with his delusion, giving him free meals, special currency to shop, and he even had 30,000 people attend his funeral. And finally, Qin Shi Huang was a Chinese emperor who thought that he was working towards immortality and would regularly drink mercury to reach eternal life, but it ended up poisoning him and then killing him. Pretty cool, right?
It shows two people outside, seemingly going about their day, when something in the sky catches their attention. Whatever it is, it appears perfectly spherical with a smooth, reflective surface. What happens next is what makes this footage unusual. The object seems to notice it's being watched. It pauses, hovers for a moment, and then takes off at speed.
Ay, Dios mío. ¿Qué puedo hacer? Grábelo ahí. If it's my way, I'll stay and hold and feed a nation. 26 million doesn't mean anything.
Some people might find it hard to understand how Delcia Bear can turn away a $26 million offer to buy some of her land until you spend a little time with her walking the dirt road she grew up on and in the house her daddy built.
My grandfather and great-grandfather and a whole bunch of family has all lived here for years, paid taxes on it, fed a nation off of it, even raised wheat through the Depression and kept the bread lines up in the United States of America when people didn't have anything else.
The market value for land in Mason County is about $6,000 an acre. The realtor that came to her door last April offered her and her mother about 10 times that.
They call us old stupid farmers, but we're not. We know whenever our food is disappearing, our lands are disappearing, and we don't have any water and poison, we know we've had it.
Delcia's mom, Ida Huddleston, is now 82 years old. She says she does not need the money or the hassle. She was born on this land and she plans to die here, and she certainly does not trust the promises made by the AI companies or the people who want them to build here.
So what do you say to the people who are in town that say, hey, this is going to bring jobs, this is going to bring economic prosperity?
I say they're a liar and the truth ain't in them, is what I say. It's a scam.
You know what, she told the whole truth, because we already know what's going on with AI and AGI, right? You might have a job for like 6 months before you get replaced by a humanoid. That's what's on the menu for everybody working these factory jobs. That's a fact.
One of the signs that people are smarter than they let on is that they get the joke before other people do. This is because they have a higher ability to recognize patterns and then put those pieces together.
Did you know that the CIA has their own quantum healing codes? If you Google the Gateway Intermediate Workbook and click on this and scroll all the way down, they have a quantum healing code right here to reduce pain signals. So it says, look with your eyes closed at that part of your body which is the source of pain signals. As you look, repeat it in your mind the number 55515. When you do these two things, the pain signals will slowly reduce until they are no longer important. Not only that, but they have one for falling asleep if you struggle with insomnia. They have one to help you remember anything instantly. They even have one to charge your body for great strength and speed. Now I know this is just the tip of the iceberg, so I don't know about you guys, but I think I'm going to be busy for a while.
Clip circulating online shows a glowing orange object moving steadily through the sky. At one point, a smaller light appears to drop from it, continuing downward without fading out. Some viewers suggest debris or a flare, while others think the movement looks harder to explain.
Well, this year's Dirty Dozen report is out, and it finds that produce like spinach, grapes, strawberries carry high levels of potentially harmful pesticides. The Environmental Working Group releases this report every year. Nectarines, peaches, cherries, apples, blackberries, pears, potatoes, and blueberries also made that list. Spinach took the top spot. The report says it holds more pesticide residue by weight than any other.
Now, one of the iTrack fam just sent me a clip of Bill Gates' daughter trying to do a little bit of damage control. So let's take a look and see exactly what they meant by that.
My goodness, I feel the same way.
Now, all that sounds good, but I think Microsoft and Amazon and a lot of these big corporations are swapping human beings out for these humanoids, if I'm not mistaken.
Vatican secret archives have over 50 miles of shelving.
and they really don't want you to know what kind of knowledge they're hiding on them. We're talking 35,000 volumes of catalogs and records spanning 12 centuries. That's around 180 terabytes worth of information. You could walk an entire day straight from dusk till dawn and still not pass every shelf. And here's the thing, up until 1881, this place was completely sealed. Only the Pope and his closest circle even knew what was inside. But then in 2019, they quietly changed the name from the Secret Archives to the Apostolic Archive, because apparently Secret Archives was sounding kind of suspicious. But that didn't exactly make people stop questioning what was really going on there. Even now, you can't just visit. You need academic credentials, a formal research proposal, and approval that can take months, and still it might get denied. And if you do manage to get access to the archive, you have to request documents by their exact name. You need to know precisely what you're asking for and looking for before you even ask. But there's no master list. There's no complete public catalog. Think about that for a second. They also have this rule where documents from the Pope are sealed until he's been dead for 75 years. So Pope Francis, who died last year, his files won't be available until the year 2100. So we don't even know what's down there exactly. Entire centuries of hidden knowledge could be buried there, a kind of void in our history. Now, am I saying they've got proof of Atlantis, Lemuria, aliens buried in the basement under St. Peter's? No, but am I completely ruling that out? Also no. Because for decades, conspiracy theorists have fixated on objects that are allegedly hidden in the Vatican archives, such as the third secret of Fatima, or the Spear of Destiny, the blade said to have pierced Jesus on the cross, and legend says whoever holds that can shape the destiny of nations. And then there's my favorite, the chronovisor, which was a device allegedly built by a Benedictine monk in the 60s that let them look back in time to see things like the crucifixion. Now, I'm not saying they're hiding any of this stuff for certain, but what I am saying is this: when an institution controls the history, they control the story. And if they wanted to bury something for centuries, this would be the place to do it.
Now that definitely should be on the list of disclosure along with everything else we don't have full knowledge of. Antarctica, extraterrestrials, you know the list.
Before coming right in front of us.
Another thing I would never do after practicing criminal law is let somebody couch surf or crash at my place for a couple days. I've seen that go wrong a lot of ways, and it is something that I would never do. If you're on hard times, I don't know, man. Get a hotel room, but sorry. I mean, you're not staying at my place.
Military chaplains will no longer display their rank according to new Pentagon guidance. Instead, they will display religious insignia. The move is designed to make the chaplains feel more approachable.
The world is currently experiencing what experts are calling the greatest global energy crisis in history. And to make matters worse, Iran allegedly rejected Donald Trump's 48-hour ultimatum to either surrender or get their power plants bombed. Iran apparently responded to this ultimatum by stating that if the US destroys all of their power plants, they will respond by destroying all of their oil refineries in the Middle East. And all this is happening at a really strange time because just a few days ago, one of the US's largest oil refineries located in Texas just caught fire in an accidental explosion. Now, this being an accident is the official story we're giving, but there are many people who believe that this may have been purposely done by another country, potentially Iran, as a warning. Obviously, there's no evidence behind that, but let me know what you think.
All right, so daytime sky.
Well, everything in life happens for your greatest good.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. I had to not get a deal in order to become who I am today. Mm-hmm. It didn't feel like the greatest blessing of all. It was the greatest blessing that I didn't get a deal, right? So again, everything in your life, it's not happening to you, it's happening for you. So you just got to know the distinction. Everything is just how you relate to it. There's no good or bad. Shit happens. It's life.
Now, I had the chance to watch this whole interview, and Jay-Z talks about how last year he was on the defense, and all 2026 he's going to be on the offense. So it's going to be interesting to see how he responds to all these different conspiracies and, things like that are on his name. Because, the longer you stay silent, the more these things become true.
The photo behind me is from a recent Jay-Z interview that he did with GQ magazine. What could that mean? We also have this photo from that same photo shoot, where he's sitting looking like he's contained in some type of box with this weird and eerie mask on the wall. What does that remind you of, that mask that's on the wall there? By far, the most eerie photo from this entire photo shoot has to be this one. We see him sitting in a chair, really gripping onto the arms of that chair, and look at his face. I mean, everything about this photo reminds me of Michelle Lamey, to be honest. We also have this photo, which is equally as eerie if you look at his hands and the general ambiance of this. This photo was also very eerie and dark to me. I mean, you see him with that red background in an all-black suit with whatever this is on the wall. It looks like one of Basquiat's paintings, which is ironic because Jay-Z idolizes Basquiat, allegedly. Hypothetically speaking, they've been putting this stuff in our faces for as long as I can remember, guys. Comment below with your thoughts on the photo shoot. Is it eerie to any of you guys, or am I tripping this time? Wake up.
Pakistan just warned the world that if the US attacks them, they will nuclear bomb India. What is going on?
Artemis II is going to save 2026. The rocket is currently on the launch pad and it's so beautiful. The promo images are insane. The videos go even harder. Peak TikTok edits are already dropping. The crew is somehow overqualified for a trip to the moon. Their credentials are insane. They look phenomenal together in every single photo, and I mean every single photo. NASA literally already tested the entire mission with an unmanned spacecraft in 2022 and it went off without a hitch. They spent the last 4 years making sure that everything is perfect so that people can fly in the spacecraft. But even if something went wrong during the launch, which I highly doubt will happen at this point, there's an abort system on the spacecraft that will send the astronauts safely back to Earth. People from literally all 50 states in the US and the European Space Agency helped build the spacecraft. It's going to be the first time that a woman or a person of color or Canadian has ever left low Earth orbit. They're not even just leaving low Earth orbit or going to the moon. They're going farther away from the Earth than any human being has ever been. The lunar orbits during the Apollo missions were basically low moon orbit. These guys are going to be able to see the entire disk of the far side of the moon and Earth. Not only is the launch going to be live streamed, but throughout the entirety of the 10-day trip, they're going to capture all kinds of photos and videos. I mean, this is going to be better than any documentary you've ever seen. It's not just going to be an American venture or a Canadian venture or a European venture. This is for all humanity. It's so beautiful.
I know a guy who is very close to the Obama administration, right? And he says some of the things he learned made him not want to live anymore. There's a Cosmic Kev interview with a guy who has family in the CIA said his exact same words. He said if people knew what existed at the bottom of the ocean, they wouldn't want to be alive anymore. What could that be?
What could it be?
Right. What could that be?
Well, if it's going to make you have those type of feelings, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Keep it to yourself.
Delta Airlines just told Congress, if you're not going to pass a funding bill to support TSA at the airports, we're going to pull your congressional benefits with our airline. Yes, you heard that right. Delta just suspended its congressional service desk. This is a VIP treatment for these politicians to help them book travel and basically avoid the travel chaos. Right now, TSA agents are working full-time without pay, and it's creating chaos. Some lines at airports, like Atlanta, are over 4 hours long. CEO of Delta has called out Congress specifically, saying that TSA agents are being used like political pawns. So Delta has said no more special treatment, no more backdoor help desk, just long lines like the rest of us.
I love this one. A user says, I had a dream where I was looking for someone. Well, we're always looking for ourselves. We're looking for an aspect of ourselves that's missing. And often that will show up in a dream as a person with the traits that are significant for us. Maybe it's confidence, it's belief in ourselves, or it might be someone who feels loved and is able to express themselves. Whatever it is, that's generally what we're looking for in a dream. We often will see other people, like mom and others, who are the ones that impacted us and make us lose the connection with that part. Continuing on with what she says, though, she says that, and the car I was supposed to use was super small, and I thought I couldn't get into it, but I did. So this is bringing you back to childhood, or even before being born, because your dreams are aware of the continuity of life, that you planned this lifetime, that you came from the spirit world, we're in your mom's body for 9 months, we're born, and that's all part of the journey. All of that can show up in our dreams. But when you're going back to using something small or seeing something small in a dream, it's definitely bringing you back to when you were small. And so the dream is saying that that's how you have to do it. Look back at childhood or very early life, because that's going to give you the direction you need to go. Cars are great because cars are about striving towards your goals, getting from where you are to where you need to be. So this is the mechanism by which you're going to find that missing part of you. Lovely dream.
Apparently Donald Trump's phone number somehow got leaked and people have been calling him nonstop. I guess someone in Congress got a hold of it and at first they were just giving it to journalists so they could interview him, but because so many random people began sharing it with each other, he's allegedly getting 30 plus calls a day, and according to the article, he actually answers most of the time. They say that if you do find his number, the best time to call him is either very early in the morning or very late at night, but at this point he's probably gonna have to change it because the calls keep coming in during meetings and it's getting very disruptive.
Now, you can go ahead and call the President of the United States if you want to, but I have a strong feeling that all those three-letter agencies are going to be so far in your business that you're going to wish you didn't.
Fun fact of the day. There is a cheese theme park in Imsilgun, South Korea.
Guys, I'm going to do what no one ever does. I'm going to walk you right up to the step pyramid and show you a close-up shot of in between the stones. I'll focus for a few minutes so that you guys can really see how this was fit together. I'm gonna do an insanely close-up shot of how everything was fit and the stonework. I'll just let you guys look at this for a minute. In between the stones. So now we can see how extremely precise it all was. Here we go. Look at that fine craftsman of how they cut it. And you can look at the lines. It goes straight across perfectly. And now we will look along the angle all the way up until it bends. It is pretty much perfect. So that is just mind-blowing. Here's where thousands of years later someone tried to recycle it. And then here's the very inside. They were all angled in, locked in place like that. Wow.
I just entered a default judgment.
As there as me?
You cannot be driving, ma'am. What are you doing? Come on.
I'm not driving. I'm a passenger in a car.
You're still not, I'm not hearing cases with people driving or as passengers in cars.
Okay, I will pull over right now.
Short of us coming out to everybody's house and doing these on boats and stuff in the summer, I don't know.
I'm sorry, I have an emergency. I'm going out of town for a family member, but I will have my driver pull over. Hang on 1 second. I'm sorry. I didn't know that I wasn't allowed to be in a car, but hang on 1 second.
Am I crazy, or does it not look like you're driving that car?
I'm not driving the car. I'm a passenger in the car, sir.
What side of the car are you on?
I'm on the left-hand side.
How would you be on the left-hand side if you're a passenger in the front seat? Am I missing something?
Right-hand side. I'm sorry. I've been sitting in a room. I didn't know.
Yeah, the seatbelt's coming off of the driver's side. Right? You're lying to me, right?
No, I'm not, sir.
Never show you the driver. Let me see the driver. Let me see the driver.
Hang on 1 second.
Now.
I have to ask their permission.
Now.
Oh my God.
Oh, you're not in you weren't in the driver's side. You think I'm that stupid?
You could tell she wasn't using her whole brain when she came up with that plan. I mean, could it get any worse?
Crazy that only about 500 years ago, the largest eagles of all time were hunting humans in New Zealand. Humans only made it to New Zealand in the 1200s, and for millions of years prior, the island was ruled by giant birds. The most famous of which being the giant moa, which stood up to 12 feet tall and weighed up to 500 pounds. But even these massive birds weren't safe from the giant eagles that hunted them. These eagles are twice the size of the largest modern-day eagles, and the fact that they hunted giant moas shows just how deadly they were. Moa could weigh up to 15 times more than the eagle itself, yet their size couldn't save them. Diving at prey, the impact of an eagle would have had as much energy as a rifle bullet. Of course, it would impact more like a sledgehammer with talons, and the Maori have not forgotten about this beast. Maori legends speak of the puakai, a monstrous bird that snatched people from the earth. With its massive talons and twice the size of the largest modern eagles, scientists think it could be true. I mean, if they could kill a 500-pound moa, what do you think they do to a human?
Well, you guys, hey, that's another one in the books, man. I appreciate you guys for always stopping by, watching and learning with me. If you haven't already, do make sure to smash that like button for me. Hit that hype button and smash the subscribe button if you're not a part of the iTrack fam already. And I will definitely catch you on the next one.